Hey folks, I am here just doing a video on the SA-35, 1200 rounds through the gun, and I did a write-up on the what I found after 1200 rounds. Not that my opinion really matters worth a crap, I'm just an enthusiast, but really, I mean, I'm an enthusiast certainly, but this gun is just really interesting to me. It's always loved the high power. I've always been interested in them. I've owned a few in the past, and of different iterations as far as when they were made, country of manufacturer, etc. And I kind of was just not really interested in the inflated prices of some of the current high powers on the market from FN and things since they're out of production. So I was really interested in this gun when it came out. Was able to get it pretty quickly, and I decided after the first range session, I was just kind of amazed by it, how well it ran, how enjoyable it was to shoot. Some of the ergonomic and mechanical changes that Springfield did to it that really helped. But then there's also some rough spots, and I did a write up on it just for fun that I put up on my Patreon, and it's I'll put a link to it. It's free to read. You don't have to be on my Patreon or a subscriber to my Patreon to read it. It's free for anybody that gets on there. So if you'd like to see some higher resolution pictures and get a better, written review, then you can check that out. But I just figured I'd throw a quick video together since I know a lot of people prefer videos, and that's cool. So, and I'm not a videographer. I don't really do this, hence the crappy camera phone video. So we're just going to talk about the important things. I know that there are a lot of people who probably saw some videos like from Garand Thumb and maybe some other folks that weren't quite as glowing. That's that happens, I guess. The way that I look at this is that this is a brand new, it's not a brand new design, obviously, but it's a brand new gun from a company that is not traditionally known for making them. So there probably are some teething issues with heat treat and parts compatibility and tolerances and whatnot. But I can tell you right now that in 1200 rounds, my gun has been basically flawless. I had one malfunction, and it was when I was shooting weekend only, and did not have an amazing grip on the gun. And I'm pretty sure my thumb was a little too high, and it kind of caught the slide as it was moving. So, it had a little malfunction, but literally that's the only one I've had. And that was right around the 950 round mark. So I did about 6 range sessions separately. First range session was 325 rounds with a buddy of mine, and we just shot the crap out of it. It just ran like a sewing machine, and was just able to really run the gun fast, despite the trigger, which the trigger on the SA-35 on my gun is pretty good. I've seen some people say that the trigger pull was like sub 3 pounds on theirs, which mine's not. It's like 5 pounds probably, but it's way better than every other stock high power trigger I've ever had, without the magazine disconnect removed and blah blah blah, but trigger's been really good. Accuracy on mine's been pretty good when I can do my part. I've got pictures of some targets on that article that I wrote, and I haven't had the extraction issues like what some people have had. Yes, there's some dings on. I tried to drift that rear sight and I kind of dinged it up a little bit, so that sight's not moving. I even had the set screw all the way out, and that sight was not moving. Sight pusher didn't move it, punch didn't move it. I'm gonna have to do something. So that's one thing. The sights aren't moving. Hopefully the front sight does, because I'd really like a thinner front sight. Um, what was I saying? I haven't had any extraction issues really. The extraction is not great. I would say it's probably on mine. It's probably on the bleeding edge of like maybe not working as well. But I I took the extractor out at about 1,000 rounds and wanted to check it out, and I've got pictures of that. My extractor does have the like chatter marks from the serrations on it, digging into it, but that didn't affect function. So I'm not sure what the deal is there, but mine works. Um, and I replaced the extractor spring with wolf spring. I replaced several springs at 1,000 rounds. I didn't touch the hammer spring, but I did up the recoil spring poundage. I changed out the trigger return spring to a heavier trigger return spring. Um, I changed out the firing pin spring to a heavier firing pin spring. I think that was it, and the extractor spring. And I ran 200 more rounds through it with that spring combo, and it ran great. So it's, like I said, been a really great gun. This is not the factory mag. It's just a regular 15 round Gar mag, which is basically the factory mag. But my gun, very smooth. That extra power recoil spring is a little, definitely a little stiffer than the one it came with. Really well fitted. I mean, it's after 1,200 rounds, and that's probably about as loose as it's going to get. It's got a little slop in it, which you kind of need for a production gun like this. But I mean, compared to every other high power I've ever had, pretty amazing as far as fit. Between the slide and frame and the barrel lockup and everything's really good. Let's see what else. Yeah, so reliability's been very good. The finish on mine is okay. I don't care about this is going to be a shooter. I don't really care about collectability. Hence why I dinged that rear side up. I was just trying to move it. Like, I'm going to shoot this gun. This gun is meant, like, just begs to be shot, right? So if it gets a little dinged up and scratched, I don't care. The finish on mine, I keep it in a leather holster for a 1911, and I've had it in and out of that holster quite a bit, and there's a little bit of finish wear on some of the little tip points where it's super sharp, but not bad at all. Kind of see it there. It's a very matte finish, as I'm sure you could guess. But finish has been fine. I do clean and lubricate it after every range session. I do only use 124 grain ammo through mine, so if I might have had an issue if I'd used 115 grain or steel cased ammo, but I don't shoot any of that, so I'm a bit of a snob. So maybe that would have presented an issue, but I shot 124 grain S&B and 124 grain Norma just because that was the cheapest. It was the cheapest ammo I could find locally, and I like to buy ammo locally. So, for like $18 a box or whatever. So, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too terribly long, but yeah, like I said, the gun's been great. Trying to think of anything else that's pertinent. My only biggest critique of the gun is the sharpness of some of the parts are really sharp. Some of these edges along the edge of the slide here is really sharp. Ejection ports really sharp. Angles back along which is probably the worst place to have a sharp edge. It's not sharp, but it's just really kind of it's not. I shouldn't say uncomfortable, because I mean I could shoot the gun 300 rounds and it's not an issue. But it's abrupt. a lot of abrupt edges, I suppose. But for $6.99 MSRP, what they're supposed to be going for, like, this gun is awesome for that low of a price. I mean, I had a 2013 era, 2012, 2013, brand new FN high power that I bought locally when I was in college. Back then, it was like probably 2013, 2014 when I bought it. And that thing was $1,000 for the Mark III, with the crappy painted on finish and the plastic grips. So, I mean, that was grand. And they were probably selling it at MSRP. So, this gun's like $300 cheaper, roughly, than a new FN. And in my opinion, it comes with better features as far as not having to mess with the magazine disconnect safety removal, having a thumb safety that's actually decent. I mean, that's pretty pretty good thumb safety. It's not great. It's a little sharp too, but it's better than a stock high power thumb safety. The hammer's not bad. I do get a little bit of hammer bite. You can kind of see they're cat scratches, but little roughness right there from the other day. So I mean, but not bad. The sights are fairly well regulated. Like I said, mine shoots a little to the left, and yes, it's the sight. It's not me. I was shooting a decently tight group at 25 yards for myself, and I was still having to aim a little bit to the right. So, in order to print on the black of a B8. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. I can't move it. I'll have to just like soak it in some oil or something and heat it up or something, and then try to drift it again. But yeah, it's other than some of the just random little cosmetic things and finish stuff and whatnot. Man, the gun is really excellent. I took the trigger apart. There's a little ding on the trigger pin because I hit it with the wrong punch. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I ding my guns up. It's just is what it is. They're guns. But the pins all came out real easily. I took the slide apart completely, and everything came out easily. Nothing weird, I mean, and the firing pin looks great. There's a ton of pictures in that article that I did on my Patreon, and you can check out the pictures. They're pretty high res, detailed close ups of all the parts and kind of showing the wear patterns and whatnot. So yeah, just like I said, I just want to throw this video out there real quick for anybody that's interested and didn't want to really read the article. But I feel like this is a great gun for anybody. Whenever the prices come back down, which they're still high right now, but I think eventually, next year, hopefully they'll start to stabilize and at least be MSRP. And at that point, they're going to be just an excellent. If you're at all interested in the high power, you don't have to do anything to the gun. I'm probably going to do some other stuff to it because I really like it. I really want to make it a carry gun. It's proven to be reliable enough for that for me, and I put some spear gold dot through it, like 35 rounds, and it fed them perfectly. So, and that's what I carry. It's 124 grain spear gold dot. So I'm going to put some more through it just to make sure, but so far it seems good. But I want to make it a carry gun. I want to do some other things to it. I'm probably going to do some work to the edges and dehorning and everything, but that's a future little project, and I'm just going to keep shooting it. I might make a follow-up video at like 2,000 rounds or something like that, depending on when that is. This is so expensive to shoot right now. But anyway, just a quick video. Sorry for the bad lighting. I know my hands look disgusting. Sorry, whatever. That's pretty much it. Y'all take care, and hope you like the video.